York's very own muscle building coaches, Anthony Bevilacqua and Pete Kacharian, proudly present to you New York Muscle Radio.
What's up, guys? New York Muscle Radio, episode number 162. 6 mistakes to avoid when getting ripped for summer. It's your host, Anthony Bevilacqua, alongside my co-host, Big Pete Kacharian. And if you're a new listener, we'd like to welcome you to the New York Muscle Radio Podcast Network. This is the best fitness show on the planet. And as a gift for stumbling on here, or even our current listeners, a gift for you guys. You guys are the reason why we do this. Head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked, JAKKED, and get your free 12-week training program. And yes, ladies, this program will work for you as well. So head on over that, newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked for your free program. Big guy, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a really busy week for both of us, and I'd say we got a lot of new stuff in store, and we got a lot of stuff done this last week. So we actually redid the whole website for anybody who hasn't visited it lately. So there's a whole new look to it, and it's much more user-friendly, and we're able to do a lot more stuff and give you guys a lot more free content as well, too. So if you haven't been on the website lately, definitely check it out, newyorkmuscleradio.com, and let us know how you like the new site. And like Anthony was saying, while you're there, definitely pick up your free copy of the Get Jacked program. We've had a lot of people since we just put it up there. We've had a lot of people download it already.
Yeah, we made it. Our new website allows us to download things instantly, which is a huge time saver for us. So now you can head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked and pick up your free program. Everybody loves free. If it's free, it's for me, as the saying goes, right, big guy?
Of course, man. And you know what? We give out quality stuff for free too. So I'm glad that people are taking advantage of that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh man, I had some vegetables, some green beans, and I put some hot sauce on it, and I might have put too much. My mouth is still on fire.
Yeah, man, I'm not a fan of hot sauce.
That's because you're a girl.
When I was a kid, I used to like hot stuff, but I don't know. I guess when I get older, your taste buds change, man. I like a little bit of black pepper, and that's about it. Hot sauce, mild is okay, but hot, sometimes it's too much. I have
Frank's Red Hot Sauce. They make a buffalo version. They make a buffalo version, though, so it's really good.
I don't like buffalo. That's too much. You know when it's like so hot that you go to breathe and it cuts off like your breath? That's how hot it is. That's too much for me. Some people like that, though.
You're such a vagina.
Fuck that. Why does it got to be hot?
No, I agree. Sometimes when it's too hot, it takes away from the flavor of the food. Like, I ate those green beans and it was so hot, so it wasn't enjoyable at all.
I want to enjoy my food. I don't want to start sweating because I'm eating. You ever see that? Like people eating spicy food and they just sit there and they just start sweating and they keep telling you how good it tastes. And I'm like, you're drenched in sweat. How good can it taste?
Exactly. But also, it was funny because I was checking my email before. I got to read you this email I got, man. It's really hilarious. And all right, I'll read it to you. Dear friend, my name is Ambassador Sorian Dukari. I am 72 years old, man. I am from Morocco, former ambassador to Guyana, and live in South America. I am married with no children. My wife died in a car accident 6 years ago. Since I have no children of my own, I've been helping orphans in orphanages homes by donating money to them. Presently, I am receiving treatment in a hospital here in South Africa. My doctor told me I have cancer of the lungs and that I have a few months to live. Before I became ill, I saved some money, $10.5 million, with a security company in Guyana. Please, I beg you in the name of God to help me receive this money from my security company. After collecting the money, you will help me to take one of the orphanages home in Guyana where I first met my wife. You will get 30% of the total sum for your assistance, and the remaining money you will give to any orphanage home as I directed.
This guy
Wait. Please respond. Just in case I don't respond early enough, know that I will be sick on bed.
Yeah. This guy unfortunately had every single tragic event that could happen in the world happen to him, unfortunately.
I don't understand how, like, who would actually follow through with that?
I don't know, man. I've gotten some crazy stuff before. I've had people call me from different countries, call my house and tell me that they're like fortune tellers and that I'm actually going to die if I don't stay on the phone with them.
Really?
Yeah, I've had that before. I actually had a guy in public do that to me once. He didn't tell me I was going to die, but he told me he was a fortune teller, and he was trying to dupe me into paying him money for something, but he I don't know what he was doing. It was
What did he say to you?
He actually came up to my car and knocked on the window, and I was like, when he had one of the big hats on and the turban or whatever it is, and it wasn't a hat, it was a turban, but he said he was a fortune teller from India, and he said, "Listen, I'm gonna prove to you that I'm a fortune teller." He's like, "I'm gonna guess what number you're thinking in your head." He's like, "I'm gonna write it on a paper." He's like, "Don't think of it yet." And he writes it on the paper, and then he's like, "Okay, think of a number in your head." And then he shows me the paper, and he actually got it right. I don't remember what number it was. It was like a random number. And then he's like, "Look, see, I can prove the future." And so he told me, he's like, "You're gonna have big misfortune in your future, but I can tell you how to how to resolve it before it happens." He's like, "But you have to pay me." And I'm like, "Get the fuck away from me."
Well, he saw you and thought,
Yeah,
"Sucker."
get the fuck away from me.
He saw you with your Kevin Federline hat on and was like, "Sucker."
Yeah, he wanted to trade hats with me.
Oh man. But I don't know, man. These emails, I'm sure they get people to click it because they're still going around. But still,
Yeah.
who would honestly think that's a real email?
I don't know. Maybe someone from 1995.
I hate that there's so many con artists in this country, man. All over the world.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't understand people's mentality behind anything. And speaking of which, I saw this. Well, you showed me this article, but I had to, bring it up.
Yeah.
So apparently, my co-host here found this article. Subway's chicken is only about half chicken.
Yeah, only about 50% of the chicken. I think they tested the oven roasted chicken breast, which is one that I used. That was like my go-to sandwich for years before they came out with the rotisserie chicken, which apparently the rotisserie chicken, they just came out with it and it's like non-GMO and like all this hippie shit. But I don't know if they tested that, but according to the article, the oven roasted chicken, it came back, it was only like 50% chicken meat, and they said the rest was likely to be soy or any type of vegetable filler. So they said the ironic part is the chicken is like half vegan. So yeah, guys, it's unfortunately, if this article is accurate and whoever tested it, it's coming back 50%. And the crazy thing is, anybody who knows me, who listens to this podcast, who knows me in person, I'm very neurotic when it comes to stuff like that, and I check stuff religiously. What's in it?
Some stuff?
Yeah. Well, when it comes to nutrition, other
You're
things.
neurotic, period, man.
Not with everything. With nutrition, I definitely am. But I'll read every single ingredient in a food just to make sure that there's nothing in it that I don't want to be eating. So for years, I've eaten Subway, and I've always looked online on the website. You can go on Subway and you can see what the ingredients are. You never know. They could change stuff and they might not necessarily say it. That's another thing that a lot of nutrition companies, labels and stuff like that do. If they change something, they're not going to advertise, "Oh, listen, we just removed a certain amount of the chicken and we were filling it with something else." They're just going to change the label. So I've checked regularly throughout the years to see if they've updated anything. And it always said the same thing. That sandwich and all of the chicken I found from Subway, it would be chicken with rib meat. So rib meat basically it's going to be cheaper, whatever. It's not soy. It's not a vegetable filler. It's nothing like that. So I said, okay, that makes sense. It's Subway. It's not the highest quality stuff. Chicken with rib meat. So that's fine, acceptable. But now they're telling, according to this article,
vegetarian standards acceptable.
50% not even chicken. That's off limits.
Yeah, and it's so depressing because I actually really like Subway. And I was telling you this before. My wife doesn't like to eat chicken out like at any fast food chains. Like she won't go to like Fridays, Applebee's, and have the chicken there, which is fine because, who knows anyway. But we don't go there anyway.
Bless you.
I can see it's true. So she won't eat Subway. So if she does go, she gets like the vegetarian, platter, whatever, the freaking sandwich with all the vegetables on. I'm like, what's the sense of that? Anyway, so she always told me, she's like, no, the chicken's not real. It's not real. I'm like, nah, but it's fine. It's chicken. But yeah, I'm so depressed, man, because I actually like Subway.
Yeah,
I really like Subway. I'm so depressed. I'm like, oh man, you can't even go anywhere anymore, and it's just crazy. You can't like believe anything. It's scary the world we live in, man. It's like you have to make everything at home.
Yeah, and then you don't even really know unless you have the actual chickens in your backyard,
Yeah, I know that's true too. Who even knows anymore? But it brings me to my next topic, which since we're talking on deceit. I found another article. Herbal Life, which is that stupid multi-level marketing company, was charged with deceptive practices and agrees to a $200 million settlement. It's crazy.
What did they? What did they do? Or not do.
As part of the deal, they'd have to pay $200 million to consumers who lost money due to the company's unlawful practices. According to court, Herbal Life made false and misleading statements that had unfair business practices. So, bottom line is their supplements are probably fake and they were duping people, which is, of course they were, exactly. But it's freaking crazy. It's like the world we live in, man. It's nuts. And I'm so happy, we talk about this all the time, and we talk about we're the only supplement company you can trust. But I'm so happy that we have our own line now, because I know that when I take it, it is what it is, because we get it tested,
I know.
And we know for sure. That's why I'm so happy about it. But it's like everybody asks me about this supplement, that supplement. I'm like, oh no, honestly, no, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. And I feel like a liar almost when I tell people that, but it's the truth. You can't even go to Subway anymore.
I know. You know it's so crazy too, and especially forget about it. Like it could be food, it could be supplements, it could be anything. And like the crazy thing is, like I was in Vitamin Shop earlier today, and me and you, we're actually going to talk about this in a couple of upcoming podcasts. So I don't want to get into it too much, but we've been messing around a little bit with some more health related supplements, not even really geared specifically towards muscle building and fat burning, but health related stuff. And we're taking a few different vitamins and minerals, and I needed to pick one up. And I don't really shop in Vitamin Shop that much anymore. I don't really buy too many supplements. The only ones I use are New York Muscle Radio supplements for the most part. But getting some vitamins and minerals, I'm in there. And one vitamin, let's just say, or one mineral, let's say it's vitamin D, or let's say it's anything, let's say it's zinc or whatever it is. There's maybe 10 different brands in Vitamin Shop, and Vitamin Shop even has its own brand, and one of them's $9 a bottle, the other one's $15 a bottle, the other one's $8 a bottle, the other one's like $16 a bottle, and they all have the same exact amount of zinc in it, or whatever it is, let's say. You got to ask yourself, why is this one so much cheaper than this one? Does one of them not have the same amount of zinc, or is one of them just making the markup that much higher? Is it a combination of both? And why is Vitamin Shop brand so much cheaper than every other brand in the store? So whenever you start looking at pricing and you buy the less expensive one, you could probably bet that they're either skimping on something or not even giving you what's in there. I'm not saying Vitamin Shop is doing that, but I'm just saying when it comes to quality, you get what you pay for. So if you're buying the cheapest stuff or the most inexpensive stuff, you're not always getting the real thing. So that comes down to trusting whatever it is that you're buying, trusting the people you're buying it from. And unfortunately, even big companies, something like Subway, they could just dupe you. Who knows? Maybe even some of the food stores we're shopping in, the chicken that we're getting is not all chicken. Who knows? Maybe something else could come out. But you'll see it everywhere. So you guys got to buy quality. Whatever it is that you're getting, get quality. Don't always go for the least expensive version.
It's funny. I'm actually scrolling through Facebook right now, and I came across another article. Recall alert: 1 million pounds of chicken nuggets may contain metal shards. What the fuck is going on, man?
Where is that?
I just saw it on my Facebook now. I was just scrolling while you were rambling. Yo, what the fuck? Seriously, you can't leave your house anymore.
Well,
you can't.
Everything's mass production, and everyone's trying to get things out as inexpensive as possible. So stuff happens. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, guys? We're gonna stop this podcast right now. Me and Anthony both are we're gonna convert to vegans, and we're gonna grow vegetables in our backyard.
Yeah. I'll just get some chickens. I'm gonna convert to vegan.
Yeah.
It makes you think. You start to think of everything at this point. Really, you gotta really look into everything now. Like you said, I guess it's good that you do OCD about every label, but it's the truth.
You gotta be, man. Because you know what? Nobody else is looking out for you, except for you two coaches at New York Muscle Radio.
Yeah, that's the truth. But you're right, though. You're right. You got to look at it and, damn, man, it's a scary world we live in. Definitely scary. You got supplement companies duping people, putting false claims on the label, claiming their product has 35 grams of protein and really only has 10. You have BCAA products that are spiked that supposedly contain 3 grams of leucine and only contain 1. It's nuts.
You know what the funny thing is? If you think about it like this, Subway's also doing amino spiking. It's no different than the supplement company, because half the chicken breast doesn't even have chicken in it, so they're just spiking it. It's the same thing. So you're really probably eating half the amount of protein too, unless it's soy protein that they're spiking it with. But it's probably not even. It's probably fucking soybean oil. Who even knows?
Well, what I was telling you earlier, and I'm going to repeat it to our listeners here on the podcast, it seems like when you go out to eat, the best thing to probably get is the ground beef, because granted, you're going to be sure it's definitely a lower quality meat. It's definitely a fattier cut, like a 75 to 25. But at least it's real meat. There's nothing else in it. You never know. I can't even say that, but you'd hope to think that this is 75% meat, even though it's really, really fattening. At least it is what it is. You know, you're definitely not going to get anything 90 or higher anywhere.
Yeah,
out,
if you go out to a diner and you ask for a buttered bagel, you can be sure that you're getting a bagel and butter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause, at least you know what you're getting.
Well, no,
right?
actually, no, man. A diner or whatever, they don't use butter. That's margarine.
That's a good point, actually.
Fuck, I'm not leaving my house anymore, man. I'm gonna be what's that movie, Bubble Boy? Remember when he lived in a bubble?
Oh man, that's such a good bad movie.
Yeah. Ugh, that's so depressing though about Subway. I'm really like devastated. Like a piece of my heart is hurting right now because I actually love Subway. I'm just gonna go in there, get the veggie thing, and just add my own chicken to it from now on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just don't even eat out anymore. You just,
I know, it's true. You know what it is? When you eat out though, sometimes it's convenient. That's the only reason why I eat out. Other than
Right.
like, you know, I'm taking my wife somewhere or whatever. But
Right.
you know, you enjoyment, like a fast, like quick. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean that's what I would eat Subway for. Like, there's a few places where they're again acceptable to go eat out. Like if we're on the road or something, and like, all right, we got to stop for food, and there's a Subway. Okay, fine, I can stop there. Now I'm gonna say no. Let's keep looking. You know.
Yeah, and actually, it was funny. One of my other clients was telling me about a protein bar, and I'm like, because his weight's like fluctuating for no reason, and he's really, really good in his diet. So I told him, I'm like, I bet you it's your protein bar. Change that protein bar out. I bet you'll lose again. And he's like, what? Are you trying to tell me that everything I bought, every supplement out there is fake? I'm like, yeah,
A lot of them
and
are. Yeah.
like I said, I sound like a liar. He's like, so why don't you just do your own protein bar? I'm like, you're right. So again, we gotta figure out how to do that, man. A New York Muscle Radio protein bar, because again, since Quest changed too,
Yeah.
who even knows what's going on?
I know, and I said this so many times for years. I always said protein bars are shit, complete shit. There's
Me too. Up until Quest
yes,
came out.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. And then Quest came out with their bars, and I said, wow, these guys actually got it down right. They gave you a nice, good quality bar. It's got whey protein isolate in it. It's got a ton of fiber in it. It tastes good. I'm like, these people nailed it. I'm like, hats off to them. And then I started buying them because it was a good quality bar. Then they changed their formula. They made it into shit. They made it taste nasty. They took the whey. They started watering it down. Milk protein isolate. They changed their fiber content. They changed their fiber source and made it into a shitty bar. And they ruined a really good thing. So nobody's been able to duplicate that since then. And, now I'm still, if anybody asks me what's a good protein bar on the market, I'm not even going to say one. I don't have one that I could say is good.
Yeah. Yep. Very true. All right, man. Let's we're beating a dead horse here, but like I said, a piece of our hearts are hurting.
Yeah, it was
right
a
now
little
because
rant, but it was it was needed.
All right, man. Let's move on. Why don't we talk about the program that's ending this Friday?
Yeah.
So if you guys are listening to this, ending this Friday, the 31st. It's our summer shred program. You want to talk about it, big guy? You want me to do it?
Yeah,
You like to talk lately.
Actually, people can still sign up until Saturday, but we'd really appreciate if you get all your stuff into us by Friday. We're going to leave it open until Saturday because it will launch on Monday. So
why don't you explain what it is?
Yeah, so if you guys are listening to this right now, just before I even mention what it is, just keep in mind that there is a deadline. You guys got to have it in by Saturday or else we can't take you on. We have to close it out. We cannot take anybody on late. So basically, what we decided to do was because we were getting a ton of inquiries for people who were interested in coaching, online coaching. They're trying to get leaner. They're trying to build some muscle. They're trying to get stronger. And they want both myself and Anthony to coach them. But many people, and I'm starting to realize this now, don't need or don't necessarily want the attention of one-on-one coaching that we give. Because all our clients, some of our contest prep athletes, some people on extreme fat loss phases, and some people on long-term muscle building programs, they do need myself and Anthony to check in with them twice a week, throughout the entire time we're working with them, especially if you're contest prepping. There's no other way around it. But many people listening to this just want to get in shape for summer. They want to learn a little bit more about how to do things optimally, and they want the guidance that we can provide them, but they also don't need the one-on-one attention and don't necessarily want to pay the money for one-on-one coaching. So it's understandable. So we decided to come up with a way that we can work with these people and have them get very good results without the one-on-one attention. So we decided to come up with the 12-week, we're calling it the Summer Shredded Program. And basically, that's for anybody who's trying to lose weight. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this more of a group atmosphere rather than one-on-one. So what we're going to do is everybody who signs up for this program, you're going to receive a custom workout program and you're going to receive custom macros, okay? So you're going to have all the tools you need to reach your goals. Now, you're going to be put in a group where you're going to have access to everybody in the group. You guys can all discuss what's going on with your program, what your results are, and myself and Anthony are going to be part of that group, and we're going to answer all your questions. You're going to check in with us on a weekly basis, and we're going to make adjustments for everybody in the group. So it's not going to be one-on-one, but you'll have...
it's going to be a private group too, guys.
Yes, so only people who sign up. Yeah, so if you guys signed up, you can't bring your friends in unless they want to sign up too. But if you want to, head on over to NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/Summer Shredded, and they can sign up as well. But again, that's going to start Monday. So you have, this is going out on a Thursday. You have a couple more days. Saturday, you guys got to sign up for it. But the big thing about this, again, is because it's going to be a group setting, you guys are going to save a lot of money. If money is an issue, it's only going to be $30 a month. That's ridiculously low for coaching.
That's like $1 a day.
It's ridiculously low.
Anybody can afford $1 a day. We should have 1,000 signups on this because if anyone listening to this is obviously interested in fitness, if you can't handle $1 a day, you really need to maybe get a new job.
Yeah, so, because we've gotten that issue with a lot of people, and it's understandable. One-on-one coaching is not the cheapest thing in the world, but it's worth it if you have the money. Anybody who still wants to do one-on-one coaching, trust me, you're going to benefit from it. We're not taking anything away from that. That's still the main thing that we do behind the scenes. But if you guys want to do this group coaching, it's a great alternative, and I'm excited for it because we have a lot of people that signed up already that, again, they're all on that same goal. They're ready to burn fat. They're ready to get on the right track, because a lot of people that are signing up for this, they kind of been spinning their wheels a little bit. And if you're one of them, if you're kind of on the right track, but you know what, you've been spinning your wheels, you're not seeing the progress that you want, we created this environment where every single week, our goal is we're going to get you to drop weight every single week, an average of 1 pound a week, depending on how much body fat you have to lose. But everybody in the group is going to lose every single week. You're going to drop fat every single week. And that's if you stick to your plan and you listen to us when we tell you to make adjustments.
Yeah, I think this program is going to be really good. Like Pete said, for those of you that thinking, money may be an issue, but like I said, for $1 a day, you really can't go wrong. This is cheaper than going out to eat fake food at Subway, at least once a week. So if you just skip on the Subway based on what we told you and put it toward this program, it's really going to make a huge difference for you. And again, it's going to be a group atmosphere, so it's going to be fun. We all can talk in there, and I think it's going to be a really cool feature. And again, we would love to keep doing this and building off of it as the time goes. But I think, again, like we said, this is ending Friday, and we're pretty bad with timing here, but it's ending Friday, so you guys got to jump on that now. So head on over to NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/Summer Shredded.
Yep, and then so it's going to start Monday the 3rd, guys. So get ready. And everybody who signed up already, details will come over the weekend, but Monday it's going to be live.
Pete, when does the 12 weeks end? I don't have a calendar in front of me. Do you know the date?
So it will be over July 26th will be the final week.
Wow, so that's pretty much right into the dead middle of summer. So yeah, you'll definitely be peeled for the beach or whatever your goal may be.
That's the goal, guys. We're getting you. And also a big part of what we're going to do here is and we're going to talk about this today in today's podcast, is a lot of people will try to diet for summer and then ruin it over summer, or a couple weeks into summer. Diet goes out the window, they lose all their progress. So anybody joining this group who wants to get in shape for summer, we're going to help you get there, and we're going to help you make progress throughout the summer too.
Yep, couldn't agree more. All right, guys, head on over to NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/Summer Shredded. $1 a day, guys. Anyone can afford that. And if you're really, really saying you can't, then head on over to NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/GetJacked, JAKKED. That's your free program right there. So you could pick up both and then just do the Jack program right after the Summer Shred program, and you'd be good.
That's 24 weeks of progress.
Yeah, for less than $1 a day. Then that's like 50 cents a day. Damn it, it's almost like we're paying people to do these programs.
I know. Seriously, guys, it costs us money to do this stuff too,
It really does. And the expenses just keep adding up more and more. I guess that's what happens when you have a business, right?
Yep.
All right, man, let's move on to the quote of the day since you have it.
Okay,
you want to give it a play?
Pull this up, yes. So actually, what we did today, it's a little bit different. We're not going with a motivational quote or any type of inspirational thing or anything like that.
Actually, I'm going to change this. So instead of quote of the day, I'm going to actually do it right now. fitness sound bite of the day.
Okay.
Have a serving and a half afterwards. And the other servings kind of throughout the day, in between my meals. And usually I'll drink that here before I go home, and I'll just eat food when I get home, because with the branch chains and the citrulline, it's going to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, start the recovery process, and that'll last for, that protein synthetic response will last for a couple hours. So it's not like I'm in a rush to get home and get my post-workout gains in. And then also with the tart cherry extract and the BCAAs, it's going to help with reducing delayed onset muscle soreness, help recover strength factor, so we get back in here crushing it faster.
So that was Lane Norton talking about BCAAs. So he basically was saying that he takes 10 grams of BCAAs immediately post-workout, and that stops muscle protein breakdown and starts muscle protein synthesis. So this is something that we've always said, but sometimes when Lane Norton says things, people listen. So
Yeah, and you know what? I got to give credit to Lane too, because he was one of the first people way back that kind of brought BCAAs to my attention. And it's one of those things where there's a lot of controversy that kind of surrounds it. Are they beneficial? Are they not beneficial? And everyone will have an argument. Well, you know what? You don't need it if you take enough, if you take enough protein and you're getting enough, amino acids and all that stuff. When the reality of it is, and we've talked about this too, when you take in branched chain amino acids, the way they work is the difference between getting them in from a protein source. People make that argument, oh, what if I just have whey protein? When you take in a branched chain amino acid, it doesn't require the digestion that a protein source will, or a whey protein source, or a protein shake. So if you're taking them intra-workout, it's going to hit you immediately. And again, if you're taking it during the workout, it's going to delay the amount of time that you need to rush home and get the protein in. You're not going to, people always freak out that, oh, I got to have post-workout meal, all this stuff. If you're supplementing with BCAAs, that's going to allow you to go a little longer without eating. I always like to do it while I'm training, just to keep my body fueled with those amino acids. Again, if you're dieting too and you have those amino acids in your bloodstream, there's much less of a chance for you to break down muscle. So it's one of those supplements where I don't understand anybody who wouldn't use it. I can understand if you can't afford to spend extra money on them or something like that, but if you're going to spend money on supplements, why would you not take an amino acid supplement, especially if you're trying to build muscle or burn fat? So, I go about it the same way as him. I like to do it between meals as well. You should really always keep them in your system when you can. There's never a bad time to have amino. So you heard it. If you don't believe us, you heard it from Lane Norton himself. So he's definitely the guy to talk to when it comes to BCAAs.
See, that's the one thing that we do different, man. I like to take them. I take 5 grams before workout. I take 5 grams of our BCAA product that we have on NewYorkMuscleRadio.com. I take 5 grams before, and then I immediately do 10 grams right after my workout. Whereas you just take, what do you take, 10 in the middle?
I take 15 and sip it throughout the whole workout. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own. They're all the same thing, but to me, I don't know. I'd rather do that.
Anthony likes it for more of a convenience purpose. He just kind of downs it so he doesn't have to sit there and drink it or anything like that. And if you want to do that, that's fine. I like to sip on it actually because I like to fuel myself throughout my workout. I'm very big. Anthony's a lot more flexible with his pre and his post.
Very big.
No, I'm very big on proper nutrient timing with pre, intra, and post workout. Anthony's a lot more flexible with that than I am. So Anthony might not time his pre-workout and post-workout meals perfectly all day. He's a lot more flexible, and then he'll like to just down his BCAAs to kind of compensate before the workout and after the workout. So that kind of fills the gap. I like to time my pre-workout meal about an hour and a half before I train, and then I like to have my post-workout meal again about a half hour after I train, and then just throughout the workout just sip on the BCAAs, sip on some carbs just to kind of fill in that gap. So again, we're both filling those gaps with 2 different ways. So however you want to go about it, you go about it, but there's definitely time in between your pre-workout meal and post-workout meal where you do want to supplement with some BCAAs.
Yeah, I agree. I like to I literally just put the scooper in my mouth with the powder and I just add some water to my mouth and swallow. It's so much easier doing that, man. Oh, man. Sometimes it's like just too much liquid when you drink it all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind doing it because, again, like I said, I'm sipping it throughout the whole workout, so I make mine last. So I drink a lot of fluids while I train, so having some aminos in there, I don't mind.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on to the listener question of the day. Guys, if you have a question you'd like us to answer, you could submit it on our website, NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/listener question. And actually, Pete, is this link working now since the new website?
The listener question, actually, we have to update that on the new website. So for right now, if that listener question is not up there on the website, just go to our contact page. It'll send us an email directly, so you can just click on the contact page. But if you do see that listener question up there, I fixed it before this one up.
Which you probably won't. So guys, instead, what you're gonna have to do is call your question in at 508-687-2534, or you can even text that number. You could text in your question. All right, so today's question is from Ryan Adams. And Ryan says, I absolutely love your show. Definitely entertaining and very informative. Not going to lie, though, your commercials can take forever. Haha. But I suppose they're a necessary evil. Well, Ryan, if you actually picked up one of our programs, you would understand. Every time I hear the ARM commercial, man, I get so excited because I know that it's a legit program because it worked for me. So if you were to pick up a program and try it and you actually know it would work, you'd be dying to hear that because it's almost like you're representing that commercial. Big Ryan. So anyway, so he says, I've been working out for a solid 2 years. I have my phases of falling out here and there for a few weeks due to school, but I'm working on getting my shit together and being serious all the time. My biggest problem, as with most people, is, I'm sure, nutrition. I don't eat bad at all. My problem is that I don't eat nearly enough. I usually eat quite clean, but I definitely slack in the eating department. In my first year I put on that beginner muscle and went from 165 to 180, and I've always been quite lean. However, I have not been able to break 180. I'm 6'2", high metabolism, and ectomorph, and while weight doesn't necessarily matter, I like to aim to put on a few more inches of muscle all around. It seems like 200 to 210 is the sweet spot I'm aiming for. So since I've beating around the bush, it's time to get on my damn question. After all, it's the quote of the day, the quotation of the day. The damn statement of the day. Okay. How do you recommend going into a bulking diet? More specifically, should I ease into upping my calorie intake, or is it okay to go from about 1,000 calories or less a day to 3,500 calories a day overnight? I've read articles online, but I'd love to hear your take. Thank you very much for reading my question, fellas. I really appreciate hearing a response, and good luck with everything and keep up the good work. Ryan.
I want to just preface. That's a long question, but let me ask you really quick before I get into this. Did he say that he's eating 1,000 calories a day or less right now?
Yeah, so clearly he listens to the commercials and to what we say on the podcast, but doesn't apply anything that we've ever said. So if he would have picked up Cracking the Flexible Dieting Code, he would have learned that 1,000 calories a day for bulking is definitely not enough unless you weigh like 80 pounds.
I wouldn't even say so then, but yeah, I get where you're going with that. So yeah, before I even get to answering that question, the one thing I have to mention, and I hope he understands this, it sounds like he does, but I have to stress this in case he doesn't, is that no matter what he's doing, if he's not on top of his nutrition, he's not going to gain muscle and he's not going to be able to reach his goals. So, he says that he's been eating clean, he's not necessarily been eating bad, but he hasn't been paying attention to nutrition. Before you worry so much about the exact amount of calories, make sure that you're paying attention to your nutrition in the first place, because it sounds like if he's eating 1,000 calories a day or less, he has no idea where he's at as far as, the amount of protein, the amount of carbs, the amount of fat. You have to even throw out calories, throw out eating clean, throw out whatever. First thing you need to do is pay attention to, on average, how much protein am I eating a day? That's number one, first of all, okay? Then from there, track your calories. If you're eating 1,000 calories a day or less, which you're probably not, you're probably eating more. Then you want to slowly increase them.
He's definitely got to be eating more.
Yeah, there's no reason to go from 1,000 calories a day to 3,500 a day. But at the same time, you're probably eating more. So you really need to pay attention to what you're eating in a day. It sounds like you really don't know what you're eating. So make sure you do that first. The first thing you do, track what you're eating. Get MyFitnessPal. Get any type of calorie counting app, whatever you want to do. If you want to use a pen and paper and a calculator, however you want to get it done, it doesn't even matter. But start tracking what you're eating in a day. Get a rough estimate. Then give us like a more of a clear-cut answer. Okay, I'm eating X amount of calories, X amount of protein, carbs, fats. Then from there, raise it up slowly. That's the best way to go about starting a bulking phase. You're not going to get any more benefit from going from 1,000 calories to 3,500 a day as you are going to go from 1,000 to 1,500. You got to do it when it's right at the appropriate rate. You're going to have a point of diminishing returns just doubling, tripling your calories like that.
Yeah, I agree. You don't want to just jump from 1,000 to 3,500. That would not be cool. But also, what goes into, I used to think the same way you did, man. I used to eat nice and clean and thinking that I was going to gain muscle just because I was eating chicken, vegetables, and sweet potatoes, and that was not the case. And as you said here, my biggest problem is with most people is that I'm sure nutrition. I don't eat bad at all. Problem is you're not eating enough, so tracking your calories will solve that. But also your training. If you're really trying to push the weight and add another 20 pounds to your physique, you're really going to have to be training very smart and very progressive. And you really have to be smart with your training. I used to think that nutrition was the key, but nutrition is pretty much the catalyst. You know, if you're in a bulking phase, it'll tell your body, okay, I have to put on muscle, but your training will force that muscle on. If you're dieting, the calories are going to tell your body, okay, I'm in a deficit, I need to lose, but your training is what's going to keep the muscle on. So you have to make sure that your training is 100% right. If you're just one of those guys who goes into the gym and just kind of randomly does a workout, lifts weights and think they're going to grow, and that's not what's going to happen. So you need to be on a smart, progressive program, something like the New York Strong program works, the ARM program, even the Get Jacked program, the free program. Either any one of those, as long as you're progressive with them, will work. So that's what I recommend for you, buddy. So keep listening, and thank you so much for the support, man. We appreciate it.
Do you want to get the results you've always dreamed of? Do you want coaches that genuinely care, are professional, and get back to you in a timely manner? Do you want to be stronger, healthier, and look better naked? Then let me tell you, New York Muscle Radio is definitely your answer. Since working with them, I can hardly believe the results.
They coached me through a post-contest reverse diet and all the way through to an off-season strength program.
These two fitness geniuses have pushed me outside of my comfort zone, and in the process, I have been able to make big jumps on all of my major lifts.
In 14 weeks, I added 100 pounds to my powerlifting total and smashed my first meet.
Since working with them, I've added 55 pounds to my squat, 50 pounds to my deadlift, and 20 pounds to my bench press.
And in 12 weeks, I dropped over 10 pounds of body fat and added over 20 pounds to all my lifts.
I have never had as amazing of glutes as I have training with them. So I can say, no matter what your goals are, you're guaranteed to be stronger, healthier, and let's face it, better looking if Pete and Anthony are your coaches.
So if you are tuning in to listen and learn from the huge array of knowledge these two have, or if you want to hire them as your coaches, you will not be disappointed.
New York Muscle Radio is the best in the business.
You heard it from our New York Muscle Radio clients. Do you want to join our team and reach your fitness goals? Visit NewYorkMuscleRadio.com for all our coaching programs.
But I'll tell you what, when I'm done, my biceps are humongous. Humongous. Like that, bang!
My name is Anthony Bevilacqua, and I'm the host of New York Muscle Radio podcast. My arms have been a weak point for years. When I started training, my arms measured 11 inches. Even after many years of hardcore training, nothing would get them to grow. With the help of my co-host, Big Pete, we set out on a mission to gain 1 solid inch to my arms in 12 weeks.
In the greatest experiment of all.
12 weeks later, this program finally helped me get 18-inch arms. The 12-week arm experiment, the ultimate arm growth program, ebook, the audiobook, and the workout video. Pick up your copy now on NewYorkMuscleRadio.com.
Hey, great coffee.
Doesn't it taste good as fresh perk?
Better.
Better than those girls make at the office?
Honey, their coffee can't hold a candle to yours.
Coffeine, the world's only instant coffee that's fortified with muscle-building protein. Visit buyproteincoffee.com now.
Damn.
Nice, Pete.
What?
I saw you checking out that girl's butt.
What? I was just checking out her yoga pants.
Pete.
I was thinking you'd look really good in yoga pants.
Uh-huh.
I was like trying to check out what brand it was. Like I was looking at her form on deadlifts. They were all messed up.
Do you think she has a nicer butt than me?
Well, it definitely doesn't look like a pancake.
Did you just call my butt a pancake?
Well, I mean...
What can I do?
You gotta try New York Muscle Radio's Glutylicious program.
Glutylicious?
Yeah, you'll finally get a celebrity booty, like all the other girls following the program.
Fine, I'll do it. But don't get jealous when other guys check out my glutylicious ass.
Glutylicious, your guide to getting a celebrity booty in 12 weeks. Now available exclusively at NewYorkMuscleRadio.com.
What's up, New York Muscle Radio listeners? It's your co-host, Big Pete Kacharian, and I'm glad you're all listening. Put down that tilapia and asparagus. Learn how to get bigger, stronger, and leaner eating what you want. Pick up a copy of Cracking the Flexible Dieting Code exclusively at NewYorkMuscleRadio.com. But for now, let's get to the show.
All right, let's move on to today's topic, man. 6 mistakes to avoid when getting ripped. Absolutely ripped for summer. So you want to just roll right into mistake number 1? Should we?
Yeah, let's go with it. Actually, I just want to say this too. These are mistakes that everybody makes when it comes to getting in shape in general. But we're going to make this specifically for getting ripped for summer. But if you guys aren't getting ripped for summer and you're making these mistakes, fix them, guys.
Yeah. So the first mistake is not starting your diet early enough. And we can't stress this one more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think, all right, summer. When does summer really start? June, the end of June, right? Is that the official summer?
To be honest, I don't even know. But I always went by the end of May, June. That's the summertime. So if you're still in school, if you're still in school when school ends, yeah, that's summer, guys.
So yeah, exactly. People will say, oh, summer's coming, and they'll start dieting end of May.
Yeah. And it's funny because as an example, I was just having this conversation with my brother a couple of weeks ago. He's been working really hard to lose some weight, quote unquote, for summer, but he just wants to lose it in general. And he was telling me how the people that he was working with were giving him shit for dieting. Like, oh, he said, I'm getting ready for summer. They're like, you're getting ready now? And he's like shaking his head. He even said, he's like, I can't believe how people don't understand that you have to diet before summer to get in shape for summer. You can't do it overnight. You're not going to do it even in 4 weeks. It depends how much body fat you have in your frame that you have to lose. And that's what we're going to get into as far as what the proper time is to start for summer. But if you got 20 or 30 pounds to lose for summer, don't think you're going to do that in a month. So you can't start a month before summer and say, okay, I'm getting ready for summer and expect to be ready for summer.
Yeah, I think there's a quote that, that's always said it. You weren't fat for the holidays. You were fat before the holidays. Something.
You didn't you didn't get fat because of the holidays. You were fat before it. And that's the same. That's the same thing. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't get fat overnight, and you don't get lean overnight. That's weeks, months at a time of overeating or undereating that nets weight gain or weight loss. So, yeah, do you want to go into now, since we mentioned that's the big issue? Do you want to go into when the correct time to start is for summer?
Yeah, I had something I want to say, but you just made me lose my train of thought. Go ahead. What the hell was I going to say? You threw me off, man. I wasn't ready.
We were talking about you weren't fat before the holidays.
No, it wasn't fucking about that. Fuck. I'm getting old, man. Damn, I have so much in my mind. All right, go ahead. I'll come back to it, I'm sure.
So for everybody, it's going to be different. There's no set start and end date for when you should start a diet or finish a diet. It's going to depend on how much body fat you have to lose. So that's where it's going to be really individual. So for somebody who has to lose a lot of body fat, obviously their dieting phase is going to be a lot longer. For somebody who has less body fat to lose, they can diet for a shorter period of time. Also, if you know your body really well and you know exactly how to, what you need to do to lose weight, then you could probably start a little bit later as well, because you won't require as much time where you're having weeks where you're not making progress. So like myself, for an example, the most weight I ever have to lose to get from off season to quote unquote summer shredded, let's just say as an example, is probably about 10 pounds. I never put on any excess of 10 pounds that I wouldn't have to burn off. Now, 10 pounds for me to lose, I can realistically do that healthy in about 6 to 8 weeks, losing about 1.5 pounds up to 2 pounds a week maximum, but even 1 pound a week is fine, and I know how to do that. So I can start pretty close to summer if I want to do it. Now, somebody who has 20 or 30 pounds to lose, realistically, you're not going to want to hear this answer, but you're probably going to have to give yourself about 20 weeks to lose that weight. You want to aim so that you have about 1 pound of fat to lose per week, so that you can lose it at an appropriate rate. Plus, you give yourself some time to get there, because especially if you don't know exactly how to go about it, you're going to have weeks where you might stall. So you can't expect to drop 20 or 30 pounds and keep it off in a realistic manner, doing it in 4 weeks. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say, actually. Everybody has high expectations. Like, oh, yeah, I could get in shape in 6 weeks. It's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And if you do go on a severe diet like that, you're just going to lose a ton of muscle, and it's not going to be a cool look. So I definitely would recommend making sure you have enough time and give yourself plenty. Listen, it's always better. And for me personally, if my goal was to get ready for summer, I happen to think that summer is one of the easiest times to stay in shape and actually be on a diet because, it's barbecues and things like that. It's always easy to find foods in the summer. Whereas the winter, you're inside, you're covered up, you're more than tempted and more likely. But everyone's different. So I would definitely say, for me, I'd like to be in shape for summer and then reverse diet through the summer. So this way I'm actually getting leaner and adding calories in while the summer's going on so I can actually enjoy myself. So I like to get ready way in advance for summer. So I'd like to be ready for, I think I would like to say like June 1st is like a good, but me, it's always my birthday. So May 30th.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing catch up. That's the biggest thing. That's what happens with a lot of people. They'll start 4 weeks before the summer, and they have 20 or 30 pounds to lose, and they'll lose a decent amount of weight, but they're not there yet. And then the summer starts, and now they're trying to go out and they're trying to enjoy themselves, and they're playing catch up, and they set themselves up for failure because a lot of times these people are getting in shape just because they want to go to those barbecues, they want to go to the beach, they want to do that stuff, and they want to have fun. Now they're out having fun, and they're like, well, I'm almost there, but I got to stay on top of my diet. And they haven't really found that balance yet, and they still got to push forward, and you get into some bad habits, which we're going to get into a little bit later, that we're going to talk about. So really, if you want to avoid all this stuff, and you want to avoid the headache, and you want to enjoy being in shape for the summer, you have to start earlier, and the earlier the better. If you're thinking, oh, you know what, it might be too early to start, no, it's probably not, because like Anthony said, if you get in shape even 4 or 6 weeks before the summer, you could reverse diet right into the summer. Then you could have your calories high up, starting right into the summer, so you don't even have to worry about dieting anymore, and you can maintain that lean body fat.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. So the second mistake most people make is not having a plan. And as we know, success is a planned event. Nothing's going to happen on accident. But a lot of people just say, all right, time to start dieting. I'm going to start dieting. And then come that Monday or whatever it is, people just, all right, I'm dieting today. With no real goal and no plan, just, okay, I'm dieting. Yeah. And the weekend comes and they're off their diet. Well, it's my cheat meal. How many times have you heard that?
That's the thing. That's the problem I'd say most people have is they might be 100% motivated at the start of the diet. They might say, all right, I'm going to do this for real this time. And what's their definition of do this? They don't have a real plan in place. So they might start dieting. They might cut calories, but there's no real definition if they're successful with what they're doing. Because, okay, today I ate good. What does that mean? Okay, or today I ate low calories. Well, what does that mean? There's no definition. There's no set goal. Okay, I'm going to eat this amount of protein, this amount of carbs, this amount of fat, or okay, I'm going to lose this amount of weight each week. There's no real definition for success for them. So how do they know if they're on the right track? And then if they have an off week, how do they know whether to get discouraged or not? Or how do they know whether to make adjustments? So that's a problem a lot of people run into. And then what happens is it's this downward effect where they start off really high, really motivated. Then a couple of weeks in, there's no real marker for if what they're doing is paying off. And, they might like what they see in the mirror, and then that's good. But if they don't like what they're seeing, and they're not tracking anything, they don't know if they're making any progress. They might actually be losing a pound a week, but not see it yet. And they might think, wow, I'm not making any progress. Screw this. Let's just go eat food. And they were making progress. So you got to have an actual plan in place. Okay. So if I'm going to start at this date, what am I going to start doing at this date? And then what are my goals? And then when you have that plan in place and you start following it, now you could reevaluate. Okay, every week, am I making progress? Yes, then keep going. Am I not? Okay, change something. That's what people lack a lot of times.
Yeah, the one thing that I like with having a plan is also all you have to do in that case is just execute the plan. Yeah. You don't have to worry about like figuring it out as you go. Literally, okay, this is my plan. My plan is to lose a pound a week, and all I have to do, this is what I have to do, and I just got to execute that. Same thing with powerlifting training. For me, it's like, okay, here's my program. All I have to do is just execute the sets and reps here. And it just gets done. You don't even think about it. Before you blink your eye, you have a couple weeks left of the program, and summer's over already then at that point.
Yeah, and that time goes by so fast too. And that it sounds so simple, but it really is if you allow it to be. If you set a goal like that, 20 weeks out, I want to lose 20 pounds and I want to lose a pound every week. All you have to use as a measure is every week, get on the scale. Did I lose a pound this week? Yes? Good. Now let's do it again. If you didn't, okay, we got to change something. It's really that simple.
And sometimes you actually don't have to change anything if you don't lose weight.
Well, no, yeah, that too. It doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing too. We don't really talk about that much, but a lot of times too, you might, like I said, you want to lose an average throughout it. So every week is a good way to break it down. But if you're on the right track, you might see a weight fluctuation that doesn't mean anything. You might go up a pound, but you're still losing body fat. If you're holding water that day, or if you have, you ate some type of food that just didn't really sit well with your stomach, you might get a false reading. So you can't always go by that. So there's going to be different reasons why you might not need to change anything, but the goal is just, you're going to set a goal to lose a certain amount of weight each week, follow that up week after week, and then you get to your end goal.
Yeah. All right, mistake number 3, and this is a good mistake, not having an exit strategy. I love this one because it's so true. It sounds like so strategic when you say exit strategy, but it's the truth. A lot of people just say, okay, my goal is to get in shape. So it comes time, they get in shape, and all right, diet's over.
Yeah.
Time to eat. And it's not like that at all. Having a smart, strategically planned out exit plan is going to be perfect for you. Like I said earlier, you diet down for the summer, be ready for June 1st, and then reverse diet all the way through the summer into the, when it starts getting cold, and then time to bulk up. No one sees you fat at all. No one sees you fluffy. So having an exit strategy is so important, 1, for rebuilding that metabolism, and 2, for just being smart, and having that plan and executing it and keeping you on track. If you were to diet and lose, let's just say you dieted for 12 weeks and you lost 15 pounds, for argument's sake. If you don't have an exit strategy, that 15 pounds plus is going to come back on.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that when they diet, their metabolism actually goes up. And actually, in actuality, it actually decreases. Your metabolism is slower at the end of a diet. So it's even more important for long term to reverse diet and build that metabolism back up. And we talk about this in Cracking the Flexible Dieting Code, but maximizing your metabolism is the most important thing to do for overall dieting health, we'll call it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, I said that the big mistake that a lot of people have is not even having a plan. And I'd probably say about 90% of the people start a diet without an actual plan. How much of them do you think, if 90% of the people start without a plan, actually start with an exit strategy? That's an even smaller amount. So maybe the 10% that start with a plan, 2% of them start with an exit strategy as well. So you got to get those things in place, guys. If you don't have a plan, you don't have an exit strategy, you're going to set yourself up for failure. Even if you do reach some success along the way, you're going to lose it at some point. And when I say you lose it, you're going to make all this great progress, and then you're not going to know what to do with it once you get to where it is, and you're not going to know how to maintain it. You're going to end up losing it. So you got to have a plan in place for when you get to your goal, how you're going to maintain it.
Yep. Mistake number 4, setting unrealistic goals. Oh man, this is definitely a famous one. How many people? Oh, yeah, I just got to lose like 25 pounds.
Yeah. It's crazy because
that's like 6 months of work right there, buddy. Or lady.
Most people think that they can lose that weight way too fast. And, there's 2 things that are going to happen. When you have 20 or 30 pounds of losing, you think you're going to lose it in a month or two. You're going to have to either diet really fast, or you're going to have to cut. You're going to cut a lot of calories, right? But then 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're going to stall because your metabolic rate is just going to adjust. And then 2, you're going to have to pull so much more food out of you that you're going to end up losing muscle anyway. So you're setting yourself up for failure with that way too. So there's really you can't rush the process. That's the thing I think most people don't understand, and they have to be honest with themselves with how much weight they actually have to lose. So, when you get on the scale, don't just assume, okay, 180 is a good number. I weigh 200. You might need to get a lot leaner. So take your body fat percentage too. Just get a good idea of how much body fat you actually have to lose, and then set a realistic goal. I mean, if you only want to lose 20 pounds, you only want to lose 20 pounds. But you're also going to have to be honest with yourself and assess how long it's going to take you to lose 20 pounds.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. If your goal is really to lose 20 pounds, and you say, okay, I want to do it in 12 weeks, that's going to have to be a really aggressive diet. So you're really going to have to understand what's going on, what's going to involve that. You're going to have the calories really low. You risk the chance of losing a lot more muscle doing that. So again, it's always a give and a take. If you want to diet and lose more in a shorter period of time, it's going to have to be a way more aggressive diet. Whereas if you give yourself enough time, going back to mistake number 1, giving yourself enough time, you won't have that issue, and you'll be bigger and leaner and feel much better.
Absolutely.
All right, number 5, not having enough balance. And I think this is a good one. A lot of people, whenever they diet, they hermit themselves away. And I'm guilty of that too, man. But,
yeah,
you've never hit away, man, when dieting?
Oh, I have. I mean, I'm guilty of that myself too. So I can relate 100%. I think the longer you guys do this, the less that will be an issue because you'll understand a little bit more balance. And, there's a time and place to be a hermit, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. It might require you to, be a little selfish, to not go out as much and do stuff like that. But if you're doing something like trying to drop a few pounds for the summer, you're probably doing that because you want to go out during the summer, you want to enjoy the summer, you want to feel good, you just want to have a good time, and you want to feel good about yourself. So make sure that you find that balance, and that balance is, okay, I'm going to get in shape so that I can go out. Not, okay, now that I'm trying to get in shape, I'm not going to go out, because you're kind of defeating the purpose of why you started it in the first place. So when I say go out, when you go out, you have to be able to be flexible with your diet. You have to be able to enjoy time out with friends. You have to not stress as much over the stupid details that don't matter. And the stupid details are, being 100% consistent with your meal timing, eating only certain foods and not eating other foods. Go out, enjoy time with your friends, family, but still reach your goals. And you do that with flexible dieting, and you do that with a very, realistic approach. If you set yourself up some type of non-realistic approach, you're going to end up failing with it anyway. So you may as well set a realistic approach that you could follow and get those results.
Yeah, and just avoid eating at Subway by all means, all costs. All gains will be lost if you go there.
Yes, it's not New York Muscle Radio approved, guys.
Nah, no more. All right, the last and final mistake that people make: binging and trying to recover, or yo-yo dieting. I mean, we've talked about this so many times. We had actually a whole podcast on this. It was called The Diet Cycle. And what is the diet cycle? I don't remember what number that is off my head, but that was a great episode to describe this particular thing in general. But so many people do that. And again, that usually happens when they don't give themselves enough time.
Yeah.
All right, I want to lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks. Well, a lot of people think they're going to lose 10 pounds in 1 week, and that's not necessarily what happens. And if you have usually what happens when you have a big loss that first initial week, it's mostly water. But then it always rebounds. Your body's like a pendulum. When it's pushed too much in one direction, it always ends up swinging back. So if you lose 5 pounds the first week, you may be stuck and not lose any weight the next couple of weeks. That's just because your body's trying to bring back homeostasis. So, then people get frustrated with that, and then they end up binging, and then they end up gaining weight and never losing the weight in the entire time. So avoid binging by all costs. Give yourself enough time, and you'll have a summer shredded body.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue with the binging is when they set those non-realistic goals and they go too extreme from the beginning. So a lot of times people think, I could diet really hard for a few weeks rather than going on a slow, long diet. But you know what? If you go on that if you go on that long, if you go on that, I would have I wanted to talk about my schlong.
Hop on the schlong.
Yeah, you guys, you'll be okay. Just hop on the schlong. But if you go
on the long schlong,
if you go on that long, slower diet, you're not going to get those temptations to binge as much because your body's not going to feel so restricted mentally and physically. So you have to, and only people who do this will understand. When you cut just a little bit of calories, enough to lose weight consistently week after week, your body's not going to feel as deprived. Mentally, you're not going to be so burnt out. When you see a piece of cake or a pizza or whatever, you're not going to eat the whole damn pizza because you're like, holy shit, I've been dieting so hard. I just got to eat. That's not going to happen when you just cut a little bit of food out. When you do that, that's when you're setting yourself up to binge. That's when you're going to make less progress. So if you try to get more aggressive and then you end up binging, you're making less progress anyway. You may as well go slow and long.
Slow and long.
Slow and long is.
But man, I don't know, man. I don't know about you because you told me the other day when you put condoms on, it's baggy.
I didn't say myself. I said that was a sin when you put it on and it's baggy. Why are we talking about this right now?
That never happened to me, man. It never was baggy in a condom. I feel bad for you. All right, guys, this is just my poor co-host here. You can't help but feel bad for the poor guy. But guys, that was today's episode. So make sure you avoid these 6 mistakes. Head on over to NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/summer shredded program to sign up for this program. Again, it closes on Saturday, so be sure to get everything in by then because that's it. Closed, locked, 12 weeks. You're without it. Again, for $1 a day, this is the best investment you can make. Guys, if someone is trying to get in shape for summer and is going to be making all these mistakes, don't forget to share this episode with them and let them know what to avoid when wanting to get ripped for summer. Well, again, be sure to check out NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/getjacked for our free program as well. All right, big guy, it's your turn.
All right, guys, Pete and Anthony, New York Muscle Radio, and we're out.
Enjoyed this episode of New York Muscle Radio? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star review, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, New York Muscle Radio.